Welcome everyone and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel Continental Clash. I am a certified coach now and I will be the coach for Team UK for this Clash of 5 Nations, and that is going to be multiple training phases with some content creators which have more or less experience with Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and I'm going to try to coach them as best as possible, and today is going to be the first edition of that, in which we are going to be coaching good old CROKEYZ. So I will actually, he's waiting for me, so I'll just jump into the voice call with him and then we will see where we can get from there. So let's get in there. Hello, hello.
Hello, man. How are you?
Very, very good. That's good, fellow gamer.
Yes.
Is it, do I call you CROKEYZ or what do you prefer?
Yeah, CROKEYZ is fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, cool. I'm Lampy. I don't know whether you know me, but I'm like a caster for several years for Yu-Gi-Oh! Also for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel since its release 4 years ago. And I will be your coach for today and for the following streams. And hope we can get you to the King of Games status at some point.
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready.
Perfect. So to get it into context, first of all, what is your experience with Yu-Gi-Oh? Have you watched the anime? Have you played the game before?
Yes. I've watched the anime. I have not played the game, but I have played a lot of card games though.
Okay.
So hopefully we're good.
Okay, so you have a decent understanding of strategy games and resources and so on.
I would like to think so.
Okay, cool, fair enough. And yeah, so I saw that you already installed and opened the game. And what would you prefer? I think it's good if we do like a general start, like getting into the rules a little bit first and then go on from there. Because I don't think it makes sense to make you pick a deck at the very beginning when you don't even really know that well about the mechanics overall. Are you cool with that?
I trust you. Whatever you think's best. I'm good.
Yeah. All right. So let me open your stream as well. So you're already there in the overview. So yeah, I think explaining it to you the best would be when you go to the solo mode, which you have there as the third option, dual deck solo. And in there, yep, you can skip
Should
that.
I be reading this? Or
no,
are we just skipping it?
That's good. That's just
Okay.
some information which you don't necessarily need for the moment. And yeah, so go to training and challenges. That's the best point to start out. And we will just start off with the tutorial. That's the most easiest. That gives us the baseline. That's where we want to go, just the top left tutorial. And
Yep.
I will, yeah, you just go with the first one with practice. And it is very, very easy, but I will give you some additional information while we go through those easy steps so that you get accustomed to all of that. Okay, so the general goal of a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is to lower the opponent's life points from 8,000 to 0. That's your resource. This is when you go to 0, you lose the game. That's like the main win and lose condition for the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! As it also says here. And you can just click to move on forward. And I think for this tutorial game, I think the life points are, yeah, they're only 2,000. But that's cool. It's just for explanation. And then you see the different phases. I mean, you have that in other games as well. In Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the draw phase, where you are drawing a card from your deck. In a regular duel, you start with 5 cards, but here for this tutorial duel, you just draw the one, click on the deck, and draw that card. And there you have your first card of Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically. And when you look at it, that's just a very basic card. You can also just go ahead and click on it, essentially.
Oh, 1 second. Let me move my camera.
There we go. Yeah, you can just, there you see it. This is a normal monster.
Yep.
And a normal monster essentially is something that you are still going to rarely see, but it's not necessarily as strong as some of the modern cards which have like multiple effects and multiple ways to summon and so on. And then when you look at the card, it has a level, which is on the top, which says 4. And every monster with a level 4 or lower can just regularly be summoned as a normal summon in your turn. And you only have one normal summon per turn. So you can just go ahead and say summon, and that will be your normal summon for this turn. So just bring that back end of the World Chalice to the field. And then, as you also have it very, very clearly displayed there, attack and defense points. Attack is... the first one is 1,800, and then the defense points are 0, but you're always deciding whether you summon in attack position or in defense position. And always only the position you have the monster in, that stat is relevant. Like, when you summon a monster in defense position, it doesn't matter how much attack it has. It will always only be dealing with the position it is in. So in defense position, it will be with that. Yeah. And so we also, by the way, went from the draw phase to the main phase. And the main phase is where all the action goes on, where you perform your actions. There's no clear rule to how you sequence your actions. Because you can just you can summon a monster, you can activate a spell card, so on and so forth, but there is no rule that you have to do one thing or the other first. But contrarian to other games, the battle phase is the only phase where you're able then to go after your opponent's monsters. And changing phases in Master Duel, you click on that glowing where it says glowing blue thing, turn 2, main 1.
Mm-hmm.
And
you want to go to battle.
You want to go into the battle phase, as there is nothing else to do right now.
Okay, attack a monster.
Exactly, just do that. So they are in attack position, you are in attack position, so it's going to be your 1,800 on their 1,500, and you can just run over it. Easy. First monster defeated.
So you can attack with a monster the turn you play it, yeah?
Yeah.
Even in a normal game?
Exactly. There's no such thing as that you have to wait for a turn. Every monster that is summoned immediately that turn will be able to also already attack. And by the way, one thing, would it be, can you here in Discord maybe share me your screen for Master Duel? Because that would be better for my viewers as well to actually follow our progress here.
Yeah, one sec.
That would be lovely.
You got it?
That looks good. Thank you so much. Let me just lower the volume.
So do you like sandbag creatures, monsters turn 1? If you're like going first, because otherwise the person who's going second can just play theirs and attack yours immediately, no?
So
or would you normally just try and use all your monsters as quickly as you can?
It depends on what kind of deck you play. Usually you try to, because with the level that the game is at the moment, at this point, it is more about combining cards with each other, and so you're just trying to pull off as big of a combo as possible. And then, quite frankly, it doesn't necessarily matter that much whether they are in attack or defense position, as long as you have like multiple strong effects that you can resolve on your opponent's turn, or one strong
effects that you're combining.
Yeah, exactly. More so that. Okay, and then you can just go ahead. You've done your battle phase, and just go into the end phase, which will. There's a main phase too, where you can do those actions again, like spell cards, summoning more monsters, so on and so forth, but there is nothing else to do right now, so we just head into the end phase. And your opponent has summoned another monster with 1,800, and you can just draw another card. They summoned it in attack position, so that is going to be handy as you've drawn a spell card. But in theory now, when two monsters with 1,800 attack points do go into battle phase and attack each other, it is going to be both of them destroyed. And there's a major difference when you have two monsters in attack position. Battling against each other, they will both be destroyed. But for example, if this one would have 1,800 defense points, and you would attack it with a 1,800 attack point monster, none of the monsters would be destroyed in that battle.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let me set that up. Okay, perfect. There you go. Okay, now I got yours as well. That's lovely. Okay, yeah, but yeah, you drew Smashing Ground, a spell card. So there's different kind of spell cards, and basically, spell cards, the regular one, normal spell, especially Mashing Ground, can only be activated in your main phase. There's other kinds which are quick play spell cards, which then can be activated on different turns, but regular spell cards only in your main phase. And this is a very easy one. I mean, you can read it there. Just destroy one face-up monster your opponent controls with the highest defense. So go ahead, do that. It's a very easy removal for opponent's monsters. Very straightforward. You have the perfect
Does the
situation.
positioning of the spells matter?
It can
Well,
at some
not in this
point,
game it won't,
but
but-
in this very moment, it doesn't. No. So, yeah,
Okay.
spell cards are primarily used during your turn. Exactly. There is some other exceptions to that, as you are going to also have quick spells and so on. But for the moment, that is all you need. You go into the battle phase, and that is already your first duel win. As easy as that. Go ahead. Yeah, so we have, that basically is only explaining we have different phases: draw phase, standby phase, main phase, battle phase, main phase 2, and end phase, which we always have to strictly follow. And there is different kind of cards, and so far we have seen monster cards and spell cards, and there will be more nuances to both of that. So let's just go into the second practice game.
Can you only attack the opponent if they have no monsters in play?
You can, yes. Whenever there's a monster on their side of the field, you can only attack that. There is also special effects, like when your monster has the effect, this monster can attack your opponent directly. There is such thing as well, but that is not super common.
Okay.
That is not incredibly common. But here we go. So, same situation. They have doubled the life points now, so we're almost, we were actually at half of the real life points, and now we are getting to see trap cards. And trap cards are a bit slower than spell cards, because trap cards do need to be set for one turn before they can activate. But on a plus note, on the other end, you can actually activate trap cards on your opponent's turn in any kind of phase as well. So you are just going to, let's see, skill successor. Says target one face-up monster you control, it gains 4 attack until the end of this turn. So as the word trap kind of suggests, they can be used as a trap in battles. For example, your opponent already is attacking with something and they think they are going to win the battle, but then you come in with your trap card and all of a sudden you are winning the battle. So that's how you use trap cards, mostly in a defensive way, but sometimes also in an offensive way. But yeah, you just go ahead, set it. It has to be set for one turn. And then look at the... Yep, it's also saying that here. And then our monster, let's look at it. How is it in terms of stats? 1,600 attack points, 0 defense points. You see there you could also set it, but setting a monster with 0 defense, of course, is not very favorable. So we just are going to normal summon in attack position. Here, I mean, this is what the tutorial makes us to do. I think in a regular game of Yu-Gi-Oh, there could also be reason to just hold that in your hand, you know, because you're not forced to always summon the monster every turn. But this would be a technically vulnerable card to put onto your field. But you, of course, you are backing it up with that trap card, so in that case, it does make some sense.
Do the monsters that are in actual decks, real decks, are they mostly focused on attack or defense, or is that a mix?
Mostly attack points, I would say.
Mostly attack, yeah.
Yeah. Because that is at the end of the day how you win the games. Because even though there's a lot more to Yu-Gi-Oh at this point, in terms of, oh yeah, look, your opponent is running right into your trap. They are attacking, went quickly into the battle phase, and you can now activate your trap card, and let's see what happens. But yeah, even though there is so many more things to Yu-Gi-Oh nowadays, still you are winning the game by just doing attacks, doing damage to your opponent's life points. You know, that is still the concept. Yeah. And there we go. That was them attacking into your monster and you winning that battle. And here, what are we going to get? Blade Knight. That's an iconic card. That's such an old school card. But that now also, you see the color of the card is now not that white, yellowish anymore, but more of orange. And that is an effect monster. And effect monsters, when you look at it, just click on it. You can skip that. Yeah, just click on it, and there you see that it does have effects. That's like just the color already tells us. And this gains 400 attack while you have one or less card in your hand. So on the field, it will have that requirement met, so it will immediately go up to 2,000 in total. And if you control no other monsters, the effects of flip monsters disrupt a battle with this card is negated. So that's something we may need later on, but right now it's not applying. So that's pretty cool. But also, your graveyard is glowing, so go in there. Yeah, in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's called Graveyard. And our trap card has a graveyard effect as well. And in general, in modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, the graveyard sort of becomes a second hand almost to a lot of decks. Some decks don't really use it that much, but a lot of decks are using the graveyard because then there is additional effects in the graveyard even after you already used the card. And this one, for example, Skill Successor, says during your turn, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, and it was sent to the turn last turn, so it's now available to use. You can use the effect, banish it from the graveyard, and make one of your monsters 800 attack points more. So let's just, for the purpose of trying it, let's do that. Activate the effect in the graveyard as it is glowing there.
And because this is a trap card, can I use the graveyard effect on the opponent's turn as well? Or is it only the main part of the trap card I can use on...
It would technically be possible, but this card in particular, Skill Successor, is worded during your turn. But if it wouldn't say during your turn, you could also do that on your opponent's turn. That would actually be possible. Yeah, good catch. Yeah, that's good. And yeah, we're just confirming, getting some more attack points. And as we also have the Blade Knight in hand, and we have not used our normal summon this turn yet, we can also bring that onto the field. There we go. And that is more than the required 3,900 attack points. So that is going to be easy game once more here. And that brought us into effect monsters now. And also, note that this so far has only been normal summoning. And we're slowly and steadily getting to also special summoning, which at this point, you're limited to one normal summon per turn. But a lot of the modern decks are just working around that fact by special summoning multiple times per turn, as that is as that has no restriction whatsoever at all. But okay, let's go into the next game here.
I think I'm following mostly, but I don't. One thing I don't understand is when the opponent attacked with their monster and I used my trap. Why was it only their monster that died?
Because
wasn't it like 1900 for me and 1800 for them or something?
It was. Okay, yeah. Okay, good question. Yeah, whenever you have a question, just ask it. So, the battle in Yu-Gi-Oh! Whichever card has more attack points comes out as the winner of that battle, gets to stay on the field, and immediately when that battle is done, all kind of damage is forgotten. Like, your monster with 1,900 attack points has defeated their monster with 1,800 attack points, and therefore, it stays on the field, and it still has 1,900 attack points, and nothing is done about that. And the next monster, like, if they would still want to try to get over your monster, they would once more need a monster with 2,000 attack points or something.
Yeah, so yeah, I think what I wanted to know was even though they were attacking me, my monster still uses attack and not defense, even though in that combat because I placed it in attack mode.
Correct. Yeah. 100%. Okay. It's always only about the position the card is in. And some cards and decks also play with that because they make your opponent's cards switch their battle position, make your own cards switch their battle position. All of that is something that can at some point happen. So, we are going first again. But I already, like... I do feel like you're understanding a lot of the concepts immediately because of your experience with trading card games, and that's good. I think you're already having a bit of a head start there. Okay, so we are now actually, in terms of hand size, onto a regular real duel, as every duel is started with 5 cards in your opening hand. And we also got spell cards, trap cards, and monsters immediately. So let's see what we can make out of this. So we are going first. Let's check out our monsters. This has 1,600 and this has 1,800. So what's that spell card doing? Which is also glowing. So signalizing. So this one we could only set and not activate as there is no monsters on the opponent's side of the field. One thing in general, spell cards that you cannot activate. Yes, you can set them, sort of bluffing that you have a trap card, but mostly you rather want to keep them in your hand to just make sure that they're not going to get destroyed by some opponent's card. But what is this? Sorceress Spell Wall. Okay, this is not a normal spell, but it is a field spell. So just go ahead and activate it immediately, because that is immediately going to show us where it belongs, because there also is a field spell zone, which we have now occupied with that Sorceress Spell Wall. And this is basically an extension to your 5 spell and trap zones. And those field spells usually have like some kind of continuous effect, which is going to be applying all the time when it is on the field. And also both players have that zone, so there could technically be 2 field spells on the field at the same time. And this one only says your monsters gain 300 attack, and also they gain 300 defense during your opponent's turn only. Okay, fair enough. And that's good to have already on the field. It's just a general boost in battle, basically. And then we have a trap card. What is our trap card doing? Good old Dust Tornado. Oh yeah, look, exactly what I was saying. Like, you're probably not really interested to set your spell cards when you're not using them, because there is cards like Dust Tornado, which can then just destroy spell and trap cards on your opponent's side of the field. So I think that's already good to have as a defensive card. And trap cards, contrary to spell cards, you want to set, because you don't have that flexibility with trap cards. You need them to be on the field for 1 turn at least. So trap cards overall do need to be established on the field before you can use them. So that is something you just probably want to
see for the field spells, like if you have one in play and you kind of draw another one, are you not able to use the second one at all, or would the second one, like, it is usable but it overwrites the first one?
It will, when you activate a second field spell into your field spell zone, the previous one that was in that zone just gets destroyed and goes to the graveyard.
Yeah, okay.
And you just replace it with the new one that you have. Okay.
So there's no downside really to setting this trap card, right?
No, absolutely not. Like, technically, it could be destroyed by something from your opponent, but in the hand it also doesn't do much, so you just want to set it, yeah, for sure. Okay, and then you have the option to either summon a monster or say, hey, I want them to make the first move, so I can then, in my turn, attack and do some damage. That's both a valid strategy that you can decide on here.
So you can only summon 1 monster per turn, but can you use more than 1 spell card per turn?
Yes, there's no limit to that.
Okay.
There is absolutely no limit to that. All right, yeah, fair enough.
I'll summon it.
Sure. And then there is nothing else really to do that turn anymore, so we go back to our blue button there and just go ahead into the end phase and see what our opponent is able to do. Okay, so our attack points boost is lost, as our field spell only boosts our attack points in our turn. Ooh. Let's read that. That's D-spell, targets 1 face-up spell or set spell trap and just destroys it if it is a spell card. So one common misconception about, like I need to explain the difference between destroying a card and negating a card. So oftentimes that's where beginners are confused. Destroying a card doesn't mean negating it. So you could think that when you are activating your Dust Tornado now in response to that on their D-spell, you would prevent them from resolving their D-spell. But in fact, you're only destroying it, but still the card is resolving. So even if you would destroy the D-spell right now, it would still resolve its effect to destroy your field spell. Therefore, there's no point in chaining Dust Tornado, and you can just save it for something else that they are going to activate later on. And yeah, just cancel that, and you have now lost your field spell. Ooh, Curry Bandit is Norman summoned. So this is now an interesting moment. Your opponent is trying to end their turn, and there is quite a bit of upside to using your Dust Tornado in the end phase before it is your turn, because if it is a trap card and you're destroying it here already in the end phase, that means they can never activate it. They can never chain it. So I would probably recommend you to use the Dust Tornado here, yeah? To see what they were trying to do there. There you go. Let's see what they were trying. Castle Walls. Okay, and that card gives you the option to set another spell trap from your hand, so that would be kind of cool if you had another trap card to set, but as there only is the Smashing Ground, which we kind of want to keep in our hand anyways, there is no real reason to set an additional spell trap here.
Okay, yes. Yes, I think I follow.
Okay, Curry Bandit has an effect in the end phase, as we're still in that end phase. They are revealing the top 5 cards, and they get to add remove trap to their hand, and the rest of the revealed cards go to the graveyard, leaving them on an open field though here. Let's see whether we can capitalize on that. Ooh, now also, Okay, something we need to be talking about here right now. You have maybe noticed, like, your deck is on the right there, that big pile of cards that was there the entire time already for all 3 games now, but there now is a second pile on the left side. And that is currently filled with 5 cards, but that is your extra deck, which can be 0 to 15 cards. In most modern decks, you are just going to use the maximum amount of cards that you can. So this is where it becomes interesting, because you can special summon monsters from your extra deck. Also, how often you like every turn, and there's different kind of monsters. I think the newest, but still to me somewhat easiest, is Link monsters. Link monsters are the blue ones. The one you also have opened there, Gaia, Saber, the Lightning Shadow. And with Link monsters, you see Gaia has that L3. That means it's Link waiting free. Let's go through the others as well. We have Traffic Ghost, also Link rating free. And then the third one is Defender of the Labyrinth. This one is Link rating 2. And the Link rating determines how many monsters you need to link away to summon them out from your extra deck. So basically your extra deck is an additional pool of resources which you can use every turn, and you don't have to draw from your main deck, but you always already can, whenever you have the option to, whenever you have the required materials of monsters on the field, you can just summon them from your extra deck whenever you like. Let's just, and then, okay, that was Link monsters, somewhat easy. The first 2 we looked at, the Gaia Saber and the Traffic Ghost, they have no effect, as all of your main deck monsters right now there as well. And then the third one we looked at actually even has an effect. Let's read the Defender of the Labyrinth again. This one says, non-effect monsters you control gain 5 on attack, and also your opponent's effect monsters lose 5 on attack. So this is basically playing with the fact that you are having a lot of normal monsters in your deck. And also if it gets destroyed.
So how do I link to? How do you do that?
Let's for the purpose of it just do it. Let's summon one of your monsters from the hand. Let's get that Tune Warrior out there. Easy. Now your extra deck is shining. There you go. Say special summon. And as you only have 1 Link 2 monster right now in your extra deck, that is the only valid monster you can summon, which is also quite helpful in Master Duel. Like, if it would be with physical cards, you would have to go through your extra deck and figure out yourself which cards you're able to summon. But here in Master Duel, it just shows you, hey, this card right now is able to summon. So we just are just going to do that. And then you are confirming on the materials you use. You are going to send those to the graveyard.
The two monsters that I sacrificed there, do they have to be adjacent to each other? Or can they be anywhere in like the 5 slots for monsters?
They can be anywhere. Absolutely anywhere.
They can be anywhere, okay.
And here comes the Defender of the Labyrinth. Nice little Link summon animation. There you go. And important about Link monsters, they always need to be summoned in the extra monster zone. That's why it only gave you that option there to summon them in one of those Link extra monster zones. And now, as you can see with the Defender of Labyrinth, it's pointing down left and down right. So it's basically giving you extra zones to summon Link monsters into, because it has those arrows. But right now, no more cards to be activated, and I think you will just have to go into the battle phase here. We did this now just for the sole purpose of figuring out how to Link summon. But
yes.
It probably would have been like the smarter thing to do would have most likely been just to attack with your other monsters first, and then in your main phase 2 go into the Link monster, because the other monsters strictly just had more attack points combined than the Defender of the Labyrinth. But that's fine.
I understand that.
Yeah. That's completely okay for the moment. All right, here we go. So they are up in card advantage right now. Let's see whether they can make any use of that. Ooh, they were afraid to attack over your Defender of the Labyrinth because they didn't want to activate its graveyard effect. That's why they decided just to summon and not to attack. But that should be fine overall with you. Another trap card. Sweet. Ballista Squad. And so... How big is the chosen by the World Shadows there in your hand? I think it's big enough to just attack over the Digatron, right? Yeah.
1600, yeah.
Easy. Let's go in. Or, I mean, even... And then you can possibly activate the Smashing
I shouldn't have put it there, right?
Yeah.
I should have put it somewhere else because I've used a Link monster's spot.
Yeah, true. You're kind of blocking yourself from summoning another Link monster into that zone. Sure. But you now... look, that's also something to learn. I said a link-free rating needs 3 monsters, which normally is true, but also you can combine a link 2 plus 1 monster. So a link 2 always will need 2 monsters, a link 3 can be 3 monsters or a link 2 plus a monster, a link 4 can then be 2 link 2 monsters or link 3 and then monster. Like, you can combine your link monsters like that. That's kind of cool. So now...
But I should just attack, I think.
From a card advantage perspective, I would agree you would just attack, but you can also just technically win the game here on this turn, as we're only on 2600. And when you just activate the Smashing Ground, I think you should be able to just win here. Yeah, that's something you always have to have in mind, that you can get that quick victory if your opponent is just low on life points. And then you can just go in. Proceed to the battle phase, easy. And there we have defeated them. So that was only one of the multiple summoning mechanics that we have in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, or in Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. There is also synchro summoning. Let's retry this. Let's go for a retry, and then we are just going to look into our other 2 extra deck cards. There you go. And okay, it's the same hand, but for the moment, let's just skip the 2 things that they're trying to tell us and look back into the extra deck, because we are trying to figure out what those synchro monsters are about. There is, yeah, initially going for the right one. Mighty Warrior is a synchro monster, and synchro monsters are, I would say, somewhat similar to link monsters, but the difference is that they need tuners. Like, link monsters don't care about the 2 materials that they are using for the link summon. Synchro monsters, on the other hand, though, they need a tuner, as it says there, plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. And let's check out the 2 monsters in our hand, if one of them is a tuner, because it will just say on the card. That is a warrior and not a tuner either. So we don't have access to that currently. It will always say on those monsters in your main deck whether they are a tuner, and then you need to combine the levels of the 2 monsters. So the Mighty Warrior is a level 6. So you would need a level 1 tuner plus a level 5 monster, or a level 2 tuner plus a level 4 monster, and you just have to combine those levels to actually get to the link monster, to the synchro monster that you are trying to summon.
Does it have to be exactly 6?
Yes.
Or can it be more than 6? Exactly 6. Okay.
It has to be exactly 6. You cannot exceed. And speaking of exceed, there is another monster in your extra deck there that is the exceed monster, the Kochi Dragon. And I think exceed is kind of self-explanatory as well. It needs 2 level 4 monsters, so exceeds are always the same level that you need to use. And then we are going to see that in practice later on, but you basically stack them on top of each other, performing an exceed summon, and then that comes... so it's a little different to synchro and link summons, because for synchro and link summons, the monsters go into the graveyard that you use for it, but with exceed summons, you put them underneath and they become exceed material of the exceed monster, which is kind of nice.
Okay.
But we can try to get that. Like what are our monsters in our hand? I think they're both level 4. That's a level 4. Oh no, it's level 4.
3 and a 4.
But let's for now let's summon the level 4 and see whether we can find another level 4 next turn to just try out the exceed summon as well. Or maybe we're drawing a tuner or something. Yep, go ahead, activate it. Can't hurt.
And play the trap?
Yeah, sure. Set it. Be prepared. I am not entirely sure, but it might be that the opponent is just going to perform the exact same turn. No, on the first turn you're not able to attack.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, they do go for Dispel again. We can't do anything about that. But we just want to get to our next turn to try out those other cool mechanics. Yeah, it's the exact same turn. We go Dust Tornado again because they now have a set card. And as easy as that. Nope, we don't need that. They are fishing for a spell trap again from their deck. Successfully doing so, but let's see whether we can summon another monster from our extra deck here. I think we did... Let's see.
Another 3.
Ooh, it is another 3.
Jun
But this
Warrior.
one, go ahead and look at it again.
Tuner?
What? Yeah, exactly. I was about to ask, what do you notice about this one? That is a tuner. I think they don't work together. Yeah, we summoned the Tune Warrior in our last game, and they don't align in terms of levels because they go up to 7 together, and our Synchro monster is a Synchro 6. So that doesn't work. But in theory, like if we had summoned the level 3 monster, that would have worked. Let's just summon the Tune Warrior, and then maybe we're going to get something to do with it next turn again. We're just trying to get to our extra deck mechanics here.
Yeah, should I skip and not attack then?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, they give us another turn. Just summon the Digitron again. And... yeah, a trap card. Yeah, let's set the trap card. We can activate the Smashing Ground to just destroy their monster to... Oh wait, actually we can also... we can normal summon the Chosen by the World Chalice, I just realized. Because Chosen by the World Chalice is a level 3 monster. So that should work for our Synchro Summon. Let's see. Let's try to special summon from the extra deck. Yeah, you click on the extra deck first, say Special Summon. And yes, we do have the option to go for Mighty Warrior now. You always... go with the tuner first. That's what you have to select. And then the other material, which does get us up to 6. And you can now summon an attack or defense position. Which also is a general difference in Yu-Gi-Oh! Normal summons need to be in face-up attack position or face-down defense position. Special summons always are going to be face-up, either attack position or defense position.
Okay. Like, should put these in the special summon zone because it just, well, in a normal game it would leave space for more monsters, right? In our normal summon monsters, or would you put this in the normal summon zone?
Well, could you see any downside of summoning it to the extra monster zone?
It uses up space for the link monsters.
You would have to link it away if you ever summon a link monster. So I think it's more clever to summon it into a main monster zone, just a regular monster zone, because that gives you the option to then later on also summon link monsters without sacrificing your strong synchro monster for it.
Okay.
Alrighty, that does look pretty good. And we're ending it right here. So okay, I think we're getting to the main concepts and stuff. So let's just finish this game off. And I think at that point, it does make sense to look at the decks a little bit, because with the decks, we're also going to talk about a couple more mechanics, which are key components to the decks that we're going to look at. Also, maybe for general understanding to all the viewers, this is going to be multiple coaching sessions, and you are part of Team UK. I'm the coach of Team UK. And then the 3 of you together are going to be on next Thursday playing together as a team with 1 deck each, and we have 5 decks in total pre-built for you, so you will have to choose. You're the first one, actually, so you get to choose first as well. And then nice. In that tournament, you will be able to, together with your teammates, hopefully represent the UK well in that Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel Continental Clash. So let's go into the deck tab, actually, and see whether we can find our decks there. Deck, easy. So let's see. I see Labyrinth. I see Sprite. Let's scroll down a little bit, whether they're all there.
Oh,
oops.
Sorry.
Let's go to the bottom again. There's Blue Eyes as well.
One, right?
Yep, yeah. It is. Let's just let's quickly check whether it is the actual decks. Let's just go into Blue Eyes and check out whether it's the list, because I'm not sure myself. I have the list open here, and I think it's not actually the exact list. No, doesn't seem like it. I think there was some kind of explanation given on how you could get the decks into the game, right? Let me see. Let me quickly check that out.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, let's just quickly figure that out. I mean, for the moment, it will be fine to just like do it with like a similar version to the deck, but we can also see whether we can just get the actual deck list ready and rolling.
I've got images here like of the deck lists. I don't know how to actually import them in though.
There's in announcement, there is a guide to generate decks for Continental Clash, I'm seeing. Do you have that in the announcement of our Discord server? It's like the 3rd or 4th post from the bottom. People laughing about the Rescue Ace deck. I respect that.
Okay, I've got the guide to importing the decks.
Nice. That sounds good.
See if I can get them in.
Sounds about right.
Copy from public deck, it says.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, that's. Oh, actually, you already have the maximum amount of decks. Let's go down and just. I think we can delete the. Let's go to Tenpai. Do a click on Tenpai, and just view, copy, delete, and just delete it because we need some space for our new decks. Sweet. And yeah, let's try with that one space that we have now. Copy. Yeah, that looks good. That seems about right.
Okay, now I need a code. Yep, got it. We do
Nice.
Blue Eyes first. Is that right?
Yeah. Let's go with good Blue Eyes. So you've watched the anime, so surely you've heard about Blue Eyes, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Big dragon guy, yes.
Yeah. Blue Eyes White Dragon. And I mean, it's really funny because the concept of the... Oh yeah, that looks very good. Perfect. Yes, let's go. Let's copy...
Is that in my thing now?
That's
copy.
Yeah, just copy it. Click on copy. Perfect. And now when we go back in, it should... Wait, where is it? It should be some... Yeah, blue... Wait, no, that's the Blue Eyes we had before. Let's search it. Chat, where is it? Oh, wait, it's deck. It's just the deck one, because that's the most recent one. So, yeah. Let's edit it and immediately rename it as well.
Okay.
Perfect. Great name, very descriptive. Yeah, let's call it Clash Blue Eyes or Blue Eyes Clash. Perfect. And
okay.
We are missing one card. So basically, the cards that are already like fully displayed are the ones you already have in your collection, and then the Exceed monster on the bottom left there. That SR thing, yeah, it's like a little gray that shows us that it's not in the account just yet, but you can just go on generate and generate it right there.
Just one copy?
Yes, we only need the one copy. Perfect. So, as you can see, which is quite cool and hilarious, Blue Eyes White Dragon is one of the OG cards of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, it was like one of the first structure decks altogether was the Blue Eyes structure deck, in which that card, which you still see here in this deck, was released in. And it's a normal monster. And I've told you, normal monsters aren't necessarily the norm anymore in Yu-Gi-Oh! That much, because you have so many effect monsters. And like, just by common sense, you would think, hey, a monster that has an effect and a monster that has no effect, it's a quite easy decision on what you're trying to do. But Blue Eyes has received some amazing support, which actually requires you and wants you to play the original Blue Eyes White Dragon, and completely as a deck centers around it, focuses around it, and the main gimmick about it basically is that you are trying to nowadays synchro summon, because there is multiple as Blue Eyes. Let's go on Blue Eyes again. What level is Blue Eyes?
8.
Yeah, Blue Eyes is level 8. And let's go through the other monsters. Let's just click on a random one here. Yep, that one works. That is, what could we see here that would help to get into extra deck shenanigans?
Tuner.
It is a tuner. And what level is it?
1.
It's 1, yes. The main gimmick of Blue Eyes nowadays is to summon level 9 synchro monsters from your extra deck. The most powerful one is the Spirit of Blue Eyes, which you see there as a UR. Nope, those are exceeds. Those are links. Yes, the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. It's basically an upgraded version, and it necessarily requires you to have a non-tuner Blue Eyes monster being used for its synchro summon. Then, of course, the tuner. So yeah, in general, that deck focuses very, very much around the Blue Eyes White Dragon itself. It goes for synchro summoning. Is of course a fan favorite because of the anime relation it has, and it actually is very, very much a meta contender. For example, it won in 2025. It won national championships in the physical trading card game. It was represented at the World Championship for Master Duel as well. So it's definitely no deck to sneeze at. It's actually like really
the other decks better be cool if they want me to not pick this one.
I was thinking you may immediately be pretty convinced with the first one, yeah. Well, actually, like adding the decks into our deck overview was quite easy. So why don't we do it with the other decks as well, just simply? Yeah, let's save. Let's save. Because we crafted that additional card. So we have to delete.
I'll need to delete another one.
Yeah, let's just delete the Memento one. My soul hurts when deleting it, but we won't need it right now. By the way, you saw those SR, UR, N things. That's just the rarities of the cards in the game. So, like the main currency in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is just gems. And with gems, you can then get yourself packs and bundles and decks and so on and so forth. And then every card has a rarity, which is either ultra rare, super rare, rare, or just N common. Okay, oh, you went for Sprite. That's a good one as well. And
oh, sorry, I went to the second one on the list.
Yeah, easy. Let's go in there. Should again be just on top and called deck here again. Yep, sweet. Let's add it.
Sprite.
Sprite it is. Clash Sprite. Okay, so as we're missing multiple cards this time around, let's try out the auto-generate future. I think you can go top right for that to those 3 stripes. Even higher, like the corner. Yep.
Oh,
and
okay.
Then you don't want to dismantle, as this the batch generate cards not owned. That's what we're trying to do. Yes. So that is all the resources we're using up for that, and that is completely okay. And we are getting the remainder of our cards here. Sweet. So let me explain to you a couple of things about Sprite. Sprite is a deck completely focusing on the number 2, because all the main deck monsters that you're trying to summon are level 2. The extra deck is completely used up by Link 2 and Exceed 2 monsters. So, as I explained to you, Exceed summoning earlier, you always need 2 monsters the same level. So, 2 level 2 monsters made a rank 2 Exceed monster as well. So, that is the whole gimmick about the deck.
Okay.
And let's just go on Sprite Blue. That's the blue one. You are in the middle of the main deck there, basically. Let's just click on that and read it real quick. Yeah, this one, Sprite Blue. First of all, looks really, really cool. And then what they all share is you can special summon them out whenever you have a level, rank, or Link 2 monster on the field. So they're basically spamming themselves onto the field as soon as you establish one level 2 monster on the field, all of the other Sprite monsters in your hand immediately become accessible. And then Sprite Blue searches you for another Sprite monster from the deck, which you can also just summon because that's their main gimmick. That's the main gimmick from all of them. There it says, if this card is special summoned, you can add one Sprite monster from your deck to your hand. Then right to the right of Sprite Blue, we have Sprite Jet. Let's have a look at them as well. This one, same condition. You can summon them out from the hand when you have established another level 2. And this one actually adds you a spell trap of the Sprite archetype. There you go. This card is special summoned. You can add Sprite spell trap from your deck to your hand. And then there is additional sprites like Sprite Red, which is the next one on the list there. That's Carrot. But red is this one, exactly. This one is also able to special summon itself when you have a level 2 monster on the field. So same concept really again. And this one can negate monster effects from the opponent, which is quite cool and unique in what it does. And
that seems strong.
It is definitely strong. I would say it hasn't been super successful in like top meta environments lately. But it definitely has had tournament success previously as well. And I would say from a difficulty level, this one is doable because like it is always quite like you just spam level 2 monsters onto the field, and then your extra deck is going to be glowing, and it gives you multiple options that you can go for. And like a very, very cool feature about this deck. Let's go to the Sprite. The spell card with the N on it, in the middle there. Yep, the Sprite Gamma Burst. This one is crazy because when you get all of those level 2 and Link 2 monsters onto the field, it is a very common sight for the deck to have like 4 or 5 monsters being level 2 on your side of the field. And then this one here, the Gamma Burst, actually allows you to boost all of them, like every single one of them, by 1,400 attack points. So that can just be like a super quick game ender on one turn because like they all already have over 1,000 attack points, and then every single one of them gains 1,400 additionally. So that's like
Why
a
does
really
the
cool
deck
feature.
only have one copy of the Gamma Burst?
Because usually when you activate it, you are ending and winning the game. Like it's not like you can play a control approach to the deck, but the moment you're trying to finish the game, you are going to go with the Gamma Burst. And like what I explained to you, like all those Sprite monsters, they basically search each other, replace each other. And Sprite Jet, every turn when it is summoned, you can just search for a spell trap card. So if you get to that turn where you think, this might be the turn I want to go for it, you can then in that turn search out the one copy of Gamma Burst. So that's...
is it only the Sprite Jet that can find the spells?
Yes. That is the one to search the spells. But the thing is, Sprite Blue gets you Sprite Jet, and then Sprite Jet gets you the Gamma Burst, or the Sprite Starter, or whatever kind of Sprite card you're trying to find. So it's always basically a chain of Sprite monsters leading to every piece you want. Like, it's just... subsequently, all of them are going to happen one after another. And I mean, another card worth mentioning is in the extra deck, that is Gigantic Sprite, which is basically in the middle there. The UR. Yep, this one. This is a rank 2, an Exceed monster. Again, saying 2 level 2 monsters. And as I explained, getting 2 level 2 monsters onto the field with that deck is super, super easy. And this is also able to then just summon a level 2 monster from your deck. So even if you don't have Blue and Jet necessarily, by just turning 2 random level 2 monster into Gigantic Sprite, you can get to Blue, Blue gets you Jet, Jet gets you whatever kind of spell or trap card you want. So it's a deck that is just very consistent in what it does.
What is the weakness of this one? Why is it not performed well in tournaments?
It does have a little weakness to spot removal. Like when you are just like when you're summoning out your first level 2 monster, and your opponent already had their turn, and they have like a trap card or a monster effect to immediately get rid of your first level 2 monster. All of the other level 2 monsters don't come onto the field as easy anymore because they require you to have that level 2 monster on the field. So when sometimes like when they stop your first step, it's hard to go after that. But I would say it's still a really, really solid and nice deck. I think you should definitely consider picking this one as well, in my opinion.
It looks cool too.
Right? Yeah, it is very, very cool. But let's go ahead and check out the third deck then, I would say. We're working through this in no time. Oh no, we have to delete another one again. Shall we have chat decide which one to delete? Because I saw there definitely is some people already with some Yu-Gi-Oh! Knowledge in your chat as well.
Yeah, which one are we deleting? Chat, you pick. Go.
Aye.
What is my worst deck here?
What is the worst deck? Oh, they're saying rescue ice.
We're not deleting Blue Eyes. You're crazy.
I mean,
I'll
we do
delete
have
fake Blue Eyes.
Yeah, exactly. We do have like a real version of
Yeah.
Blue Eyes now, so we can just get rid of the old one. I'm good with that. That's cool. Yeah. Let's get rid of that.
The next one is K9.
Ooh, that's a nice one as well. You will like that one too. That sounds about right. Nice. Seems like we do already have all of those cards. And yes, it's hidden in the deck title again. Oh no, we do we do absolutely have all of those cards. I thought we had. But yeah, this is K9 Clash K9, however you want to call it. So we don't necessarily
do the batch again.
I think we cannot because we don't have enough resources for that right now. Because we only have 39 UR crafting points, and to generate a UR you actually need 30. So for now it's okay. We can still go over the cards and go over the concept of the deck. So this one, in my opinion, is quite nice for beginners as well, because it solely focuses on only one extra deck summoning mechanic. As you can already see, there only is the color black. It's only Exceed monsters. And that is because all of the K9 monsters which you have in your main deck, they are all level 5. And all of them are just really good to bring more level 5 monsters onto the field. Like, one of them says, summon yourself and another level 5 monster from your hand. The other one says, summons this one and another one from your graveyard that is level 5 to the fields. And like Noroi, for example, you were almost hovering about. Yeah, this is Noroi. This one even says, when this is summoned, you can summon another one from a deck even. So like they are just like getting more and more level 5 monsters onto the field. And they have a clear plan. Like with Sprite, which we were talking about, you want to kind of leave some of those Sprite monsters on your field. Like as we saw, Sprite Red is a monster negate, Sprite Carrot is a spell negate. But with K9, there really is no point to leave them on the field. But you always are just immediately going into your extra deck and go for those powerful rank 5 monsters. So a very powerful one. Let's just actually check out the Nash Knight. The Nash Knight is the 6th or 7th. The oh no, I brought myself into that. Yes, that's the Nash Knight. This one, for example, says, during the main phase, quick effect. So that's on your turn or on your opponent's turn. So if you can establish that on your first turn, it's like a really good card. For example, against Sprite, as we were just discussing, when you just take away their first monster on the field, it can be very tough for them. You can detach 2 materials, which are underneath the Exceed monster still, to put another number monster from your extra deck underneath it as well, and then just put 1 monster from your opponent's side as a material underneath the Nash Knight. So that gets rid of your opponent's monster, gets the Nash Knight 2 materials again, so you can use the effect once more on the next turn then as well, and just is a prime interaction overall, I would say. And then there's more powerful rank 5 monsters, such as the K9 Ripper, which is just right to it. And K9 Ripper, it's just, you probably always want to go for this one first, as it just says, detach 1 material, add another K9 card from your deck. So you have 2 level 5s, you search for another K9, and in that case, you will mostly go for the K9 Lantern. That's like the top right, 2nd row. Yes, this one. K9 Lantern just says, if this card is in your hand, that's like the 3rd effect part. If this card is in your hand, you can target 1 level 5 non-pyro K9 monster in the graveyard. Just special summon the Lantern and that monster from the graveyard. Meaning, you went into the Ripper. Ripper already is a threat to your opponent, being a big monster and having another effect on your opponent's turn because it can negate an effect in the hand or in the graveyard. And then getting the Lantern guarantees you getting to another rank 5 monster. So you're just making in a standard K9 turn, you are going to make 2 or 3 of those big rank 5 exceed monsters, which are really a powerhouse. So it's a combo approach, and it's focusing on just one summoning mechanic, which makes it a little easier to stick by, I would say.
Yeah, the monsters from the extra deck, you can summon more than one of them per turn.
Yes, yes, you can.
That's okay.
So I think this definitely has some major potential as well. And we can definitely figure out at some point to get all those cards in as well. No problem. But yeah, what are you thinking initially about it? Is there anything you like about it or you just dislike?
But this one, it seems quite similar in ways to the 2-cost deck.
Okay.
It's the Sprite one.
Yep.
Like you're just trying to combine the 5s. It seems like it's kind of a bit easier maybe, but just with one very complicated turn, or maybe not complicated is the wrong word, but you kind of go off on one turn, maybe pull out 2 or 3 from the extra deck.
I think to some degree you're right. The thing with Sprite though, on the other hand, is the moment you have figured out like the one route it is always trying to do, like turn the 2 monsters into gigantic Sprite, bring out Blue, bring out Jet, like it is something that you are going to somewhat repeat most of the time with some small nuances and differences. But I think like performing the Sprite turn, even though there is more options because there are also some link monsters and so on, is probably overall a little less hard, because here you just have more rank 5 options to go into, and you basically every summon when you have 2 level 5 monsters on the field, it's going to be pretty hard. But one big upside about this deck is it actually gives you the opportunity to play on your opponent's first turn already, because K9 Izuna, which is the first of the K9 monsters, it's second row, third card. This one says, during the main phase, if your opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or in the graveyard, and most decks do that at some point in their turn, you can special summon it out and send another card, another K9 card from your deck to the graveyard. And here comes the super insane interaction, which you can already do on your opponent's first turn. You get to send the K9 Lupus, which is the first card in the third row. And K9 Lupus has the same requirement whenever your opponent already has activated the monster effect in the hand or in the graveyard. So the moment you have activated the Izuna, the Lupus will always be live already. So you send Lupus to the graveyard. This one now can activate in the graveyard, bring itself out, and perform an exceed summon on your opponent's turn. So this basically, on the first turn of the duel, which could be your opponent's, already gives you a chance to play on their turn and exceed summon, which is very strong.
Like with the 3 monsters on their turn, I guess this deck has less of a weakness to the first monster being removed than the Sprite deck. Just because it is easier to get the 2 out, I think.
I would agree. Yeah, for sure. That's definitely true.
Okay, now that you've told me about that interaction, it's much more interesting, I think.
Okay, I see that. Another cool thing, which also is worth mentioning about this, is the super rare spell card in the bottom row. Nope, just right to this one. The in the middle, just next to call. Yeah, this one. K9 X Forced Released. As I was just explaining, exceed summoning on your opponent's turn is a theme, is a thing for this deck. This goes beyond that, because this actually also, as a quick play spell, which you're able to use on both players' turns, allows you to upgrade one of your exceed monsters. I mean, upgrade is like not the technical term of it, but you can target a K9 exceed monster you control, special summon from your extra deck another K9 exceed monster with a different name. So you're like, you have an exceed monster, and then you put another exceed monster, which also is a K9 exceed monster on top of it on your opponent's turn. And then you also get to destroy another card. So like, the interruptions that this deck is producing are really strong. So yeah, definitely one to consider.
You've convinced me.
Okay, but let's there's 2 more decks to discover. Let's look at them as well. First of all.
Can I take a break for 1 second?
Of course, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries. Absolutely. In the meantime, I have the chat open for both my own stream, but also for CROKEYZ stream. Is there any questions you initially have? Is there any questions you have to me as a coach personally or something? Is there anything you have ever wondered yourself about Yu-Gi-Oh? Oh, Simo Wotan is saying Lampy, teach him Labyrinth. You know what, Simo? There's 2 decks remaining and one of them is Labyrinth. Let's see whether he's convinced about that. Can these decks be modified? No. It is 5 pre-built decks, and as we are a team of 3 students for every nation, each one of them gets to pick one of the 5 decks, and CROKEYZ is the first one to have his teaching lesson, so he's the first one to pick his deck as well. And then it has to be another deck for the second person, but it will be the pre-built decks. Mr. Coach, is there a cat-only deck? I'm afraid there's not, I'm sorry. I am afraid there is not.
Alright, thank you, I'm good.
Nice. Glad to hear that. And actually, chat was requesting a deck that we should teach you that deck, and it actually is going to be one of the 2 remaining decks that we have.
Which one's that?
That is going to be Labyrinth that we are still missing. And there was someone asking whether there's an all cat deck. Go with the Fire King, or go with the Hatred. I don't even know why it is called like that. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, what is it? Oh, I understand now. Yeah, let's get rid of that. I do understand now. Yeah, someone is asking about an all cat deck. It's not under our it's not in those 5 decks that we are going to get into here, but there is a cat deck called Pearly in Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't want to forget about that. Why are we not playing Pearly then? Well, good question. Because we have other cool decks. And the next one, I believe that should be the Labyrinth deck that we are going to see here. Let's copy it into our decks. Sweet.
And we have all the cards for this one, right?
It looked like that for the K9 one as well in the beginning. Let's see. Oh yeah, but only like a very, very small amount of extra deck cards missing, but that's good for now. So, is there anything you immediately think when just looking at the distribution of cards in this deck?
A lot of traps. A ton of traps.
A lot of traps indeed. Labyrinth is a trap-focused strategy. And, I mean, we only got into the very basics of trap cards. And one problem of trap cards historically has been that they are slower than spell cards, because they need to be set for 1 turn. Yep. Labyrinth as a deck has somewhat solved that problem by giving you, through different cards in your deck, the option to already activate trap cards the turn that they are set. Or some cards even say, hey, set a trap card from your hand, you can immediately activate it this turn. Like, there are multiple ways to just immediately make them work on the first turn, which is really, 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 really strong. And this is another deck that definitely has seen some meta usage and was represented at the World Championship, for example, multiple times already. And so trap cards are very reactive. So like when you go first with this and you just establish, very commonly for this deck, 3 or 4 set trap cards, it is so hard to play through it, you know, because you're just giving them so many hoops to jump through with multiple trap cards, and it's just very, very hard overall.
Am I reading this card right? The Destructive Daruma, it seems crazy.
What is crazy about it? What makes you think it's crazy?
Wait. You can destroy more than 1 monster with 1 trap card.
So,
or like, can you destroy their whole board?
It's
maybe I'm reading it wrong.
I think you're kind of skipping the first part a little bit, because you are changing all of the monsters on the field to face down defense position. And the monsters that did not get set face down by that, they will be sent to the graveyard. So it is a super powerful trap card, 100%. But it will set normal monsters, it will set effect monsters. So you're not like, you are dealing with them for the moment because no deck can really make too much use of set monsters. But where it really shines, link monsters. As you may, let's just click on one of our link monsters here in our extra deck as well, the blue ones. They do not have defense points. They can only be in attack position. And therefore, when they cannot be set face down, the second part of the effect is applying and they will be sent to the graveyard instead. So, Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon against link-based strategies is an absolute powerhouse for sure. And even against other decks, it's still strong because, for example, the Sprite deck, when you just put all of their monsters face down, they cannot exceed summon anymore. When you put the K9 cards face down, you can only exceed summon with face-up cards. You can only link summon with face-up monsters. So putting them face down...
all link monsters have no defense stat, or just the ones in that we've picked for this deck?
No, there is no defense position for link monsters. That's just like the card design. Yeah, at all. Yeah. That's just how they are. They cannot be in defense position, and therefore the Ruma Karma Cannon is in that regard really, really strong. But yeah, the first card immediately is Kuklok. Looks small, but is in the main deck, the first card, the Labyrinth Kuklok. But this one is one of your main ways to make your trap cards go off quicker, because you can just discard it from your hand, and then you can activate a normal trap card that turn that was set. So basically, just imagine it like that. Your opponent has built a field of K9 monsters. We have just discussed. It could happen that they summon 2 or 3 K9 monsters, and they have created a very, very, very powerful field. Now you go ahead, you set the Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon, and then you activate Labyrinth Kuklok, saying, hey, I'm able to already on this turn go ahead and activate that Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. And then you just put all of their monsters face down. They cannot use their effects that turn anymore. So it's like, it makes your traps so much stronger and so much more impactful. It's
well, this deck seems like the one that I would enjoy the most.
Ooh.
I'm just worried that like as a kind of reactive deck, it's hard when I'm just kind of starting out in the game to know when is best to use each kind of card, because I feel like you could definitely use these traps inefficiently and lose because of that, right? If you don't have the knowledge of exactly what your opponent's trying to do. So an experienced player, I think, can use this deck really well, though.
It is definitely a deck that requires you to really sequence your interactions and your responses very, very well.
You also have to know what your opponent's plan is too, right? Whereas some of the other decks, you can not ignore what they're doing, but you can just react to each individual card that they play. Whereas this, I think you need to have a knowledge of their kind of overarching plan. It seems that way to me.
The good thing about our tournament structure for Continental Clash, of course, though, is that it is only going to be 5 decks in total. So you don't need to like prepare for a crazy amount of decks, right? So like the matchups that you are going to expect are limited. So I think as like the moment we're going to have another stream together with Boba as well, where you can like, for example, play the one matchup with her then. And so like, I don't think it's impossible to play this deck to a really decent degree. And like in general, the interaction that already this deck offers on your opponent's first turn to stop them from playing, to even make them set up a field, is crazy strong. You're on Dominus Impulse here. Such a good card. Can be used from your hand. So like I told you, trap cards need to be set a turn before you can activate them. Dominus Impulse doesn't care. When they activate an effect that includes special summoning a monster, negate that. And if you then have a trap card in your graveyard, you can get to destroy the card that they were trying to special summon something with. So we saw, for example, the K9 Noroi. Or let's go with Gigantic Sprite. You remember Gigantic Sprite was the Exceed monster that tries to special summon another monster from the deck.
Yes.
Try to use that effect. You go Dominus Impulse, and you have a trap card already in your graveyard. So you stop them from summoning a monster, and you get to destroy the Gigantic Sprite on top of it. So, like, that card is huge, especially in an all trap card deck, which this one basically is.
Yeah, the dominus, it says if your opponent controls a card, like what does that actually mean? Is that a card on the board? A card in
field.
hand? Card on the field, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
just a card on the field. Exactly. Exactly that. And
You can't really use this against their first monster. They have to like kind of resolve one first, and then you can use this on the second.
yeah. Or also, like, a super good combination is, let's go to Infinite Permanence, which is in the middle of the third row. The UR. Yeah, this one. So this probably, if you have the combination of both of them, would be the one you go with first. Because this is just like a targeting negation for a monster. Target one phase of monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, easy. They get to keep the monster, but you have negated what they were trying to do. So for example, if they special summon Sprite Blue and they're trying to search for this Sprite Jet, you say, no, I'm negating that, and like your chain of Sprite monsters coming into the hand is broken here with that. And then when you have that established in the graveyard, that would be probably the moment when then their additional push that they might have, you want to stop with Dominus Impulse, because then you also have that additional trap card in the graveyard, which makes the Dominus Impulse even stronger, because when there's a trap card in the graveyard, as I said, it doesn't only negate the effect of special summon, but also destroys the card that was trying to special summon. So...
Okay.
That's
I understand.
like. And then maybe you enjoyed Izuna as a tool to play on your opponent's first turn with the K9 deck. Let's go to Arias, which is in the middle of the second row. The UR there. Yes, Arias the Labyrinth Butler. And this is also for the Labyrinth deck, your tool, your main tool to play on your opponent's turn. As during the main phase, you can just send it from your hand to the graveyard and then set one of your trap cards to your field, and you can immediately activate it that turn. You're like overruling the game mechanic that trap cards have to be set for one turn by just using that effect that you say, hey, use this, use the trap card, immediately get access to that strong effect. So that's like such a strong card, because that means you can already on their turn go, for example, for the destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. Before they even get to exceed summon, you get to already set them all face down and stuff like that. So that's really, really good. So what is your...
It does seem like a very cool tech, but it seems much more complex than the other ones. Or maybe I'm just worried about not knowing exactly what monsters to target from the different matchups. But yeah, as you said, maybe with some practice it would be okay.
Yeah. No, I think I could see you playing this deck for sure.
Because I feel like if you say you're playing against a Sprite deck, if you want like one trap misused on the wrong Sprite, and you're done, right? You're just going to snowball from there.
No, 100%. But I think this is definitely a deck that profits from you just playing it. Like, the moment you start having those things, they are somewhat repetitive to some degree as well. And then you will pretty quickly get the grips of it. It's compared to some of the other decks, it's a little more advanced. I'll say that. There definitely is some more depth to it. But I am confident that you could get to that level for sure.
Okay.
All right, one last deck remaining, and that will be the Mimighoul deck. Deck saved, sweet.
Need one more delete.
Let's go ahead, and that Octoadic Mitsu 60 shall be gone. Yeah, so that also, the deck maximum for Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks is 60. Like, that deck was 60 cards. Usually you're trying to be as close to 40, and I think all 5 of our decks are also 40 cards, because you're just trying to keep them as consistent as possible. Like, when you go with a low number, like, you're drawing your good cards more often, of course.
And it's three cards, or 3 unique cards maximum, right?
Yes.
3 copies.
There is a Forbidden and Limited list, so there you see, for example, there's a 1, there's a 2. That's like an additional tool to help balance out the game, where, like, at some point, every month, there's an update to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel where they say, hey, this card is now semi-limited or limited, and you're only able to play then 1 or 2 copies of it in your deck. But generally, it's free. Okay, yeah, I think let's go into the deck again, because this is, I think, just the public display of it. Yeah. Let's rename it. And this one is quite gimmicky, I would say, because Mimighoul as a concept overall is a deck that is very counterintuitive to general Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's a lot of small level 1 monsters. Like, most of the monsters you have in your deck there are level 1 monsters. And the main mechanic of the deck is to not summon them to your own side of the field, but you are special summoning them to your opponent's side of the field in face-down defense position. So you're basically giving them the Mimighoul gift and set monster to their side of the field. And then, with additional effects, you make them flip them up. And it's devastating effects to them then. Like, for example, one of them says, when this card is flipped face up, destroy all monsters on your side of the field, which is then going to be your opponent and not yourself.
Of course,
it's quite hilarious in that. So there's also some exceed 1 monsters, like the giant Mimighoul and stuff like that. And then there is some powerhouse staples in there as well. For example, the Happiest Feather Duster. That's the one card that has the 1 on it. Or there's 2 with 1 on. Yeah, but I'm talking about this one. Very easy to read. Let me tell you that if we could find you a Labyrinth opponent with this, and I think just simply the fact that this card is in the Mimighoul deck is making the Labyrinth deck a little less appealing, to be honest, because it's just so good against that.
That's not good.
Yeah.
So this is putting monsters like onto the opponent's side, and I see that you're doing that and then using the effects like destroy all monsters on your side of the battlefield. That's good, but how impactful is it that you're kind of using up their space as well? Does that matter? Like, if there's only 5 slots, is that ever relevant?
Not really, no, because most of the time, like, you're only going to summon 1 or 2 monsters, mostly to their side of the field, and then also some to your side of the field, because at some point you need to win the game. And also, let's go to the field spell, to the Mimighoul Dungeon, which is the SR in the 4th row, the 2nd card there. Like this, when you have that established, and as a field spell, you're trying to just always have it established, basically hinders your opponent even from filling those additional zones, because when they control a face-down monster, and you're always making sure that they do have that because you're giving it to them, they cannot normal summon monsters anymore, nor can they declare attacks with special summon monsters. So this is like a permanent hindrance for them to actively, aggressively execute their own gameplay.
Yeah.
Which is really, really fun.
Well, so how do they beat this once it's in play, though?
Well, they have to flip up their set monsters, which you kind of want them to do, because they are still able to do that, because they gave them to you gave them to them on your own turn, so on their turn they're able to flip them up just from a game mechanic. Like, if a monster is set for a turn,
they choose when they get flipped, not me. Oh, okay.
There's effects that you have where you actually are telling them when to do it, but they always have in their main phase also the option to flip up a monster, as long as it wasn't set face down that very turn. Like, when a monster is set face down that very turn, it cannot change battle position anymore. But like, when it already has been set for a turn, you can always flip it back up.
Can you flip more than 1 monster in a turn?
Yes, you can. There's no limit to that. Okay. There is actually no limit to that. And a really funny thing with this as well, like, Triple Tactic Thrust is in the 3rd row, the one we have 3 of. Yeah, this one, this one, yeah. Triple Tactics Thrust. This is insanely cool because this card has a funny restriction, which usually only applies when you are going second, when your opponent already has established a field. But here, as you're giving your opponent monsters, this card immediately becomes very valuable on the 1st turn, because if your opponent has activated the monster effect, and you give them monsters, you make them activate monster effects, you get to set a normal spell trap from your deck, or if they control a monster, which they do because of you, you can search it through your hand instead. So that card gives you just access to either the Triple Tactic Talons, or to the Happiest Feather Duster that we already talked about. You can basically search that out from your deck against the Labyrinth deck, as long as they have activated any kind of monster effect, which they will. So it's a super, super strong tool, which in most decks is only a tool on the 2nd turn. But in this deck actually can already be taken care of on the opening turn, on the 1st turn, which is really insane.
But this, I don't know, but this at a glance seems like the strongest deck that we've seen. Like, why is this not? What is the weakness? Why is it not stronger than the rest?
It does sometimes have some consistency issues because some of the Mimigul monsters, they search for additional Mimigul cards, so they are going to get you forward. But some of them, they are just like, hey, I summon myself to the opponent's side of the field, but then there is nothing really advancing our game plan besides that. So they give them a monster, which is annoying, but you're not really profiting off of that, you know? Also, we saw the Dominus Impulse in the Labyrinth deck. That's a huge issue for this deck as well, oftentimes, because this deck really needs to summon out those monsters, you know?
Yeah.
So
it can be a bit slow sometimes, or like inconsistent, yeah.
Yeah. It can be a little problematic with that. But I think the best thing we can do now, there's not a solo mode for all of the decks, but there is, for example, a solo mode for Sprite. So I would say let's try out some dueling with the Sprite deck in solo mode, and see maybe whether in practice you like the Sprite cards a little more. Let's go solo. Let's go. Oh look, Gigantic Sparkle. That's the one actually that we want to try out. That's a good starting point to learn a little bit more about the Sprite cards. Which by no means I'm making you pick Sprite, but I think it's good to see them in action as well.
Well, of course.
And that will be, once again, just, what makes the Sprite deck unique? Level 2 monsters enable all the other level 2 monsters that are sprites in your hand. Easy. Here we...
Why did they not summon a monster?
Because they have no cards in hand for some reason. I don't know.
Oh.
Okay, our turn. Sprite Pixies. We have no level 2 monsters on the field, so we only have the choice to normal summon, which we can do then. Let's get that Pixies onto the field. Sweet. Now, as we have that level 2 on the field, we can special summon the Pixies as well, as it is a Sprite monster and has that effect. So Pixies is one of those that doesn't have like an additional effect to search or anything, but what could be a smart thing to do now with those 2 level 2 monsters? Exceed Summon Gigantic Sprite.
Yes, go to the extra deck.
Yeah.
For my Gigantic Sprite.
Please. You just go on, you go onto the, exactly, perfect. Gigantic Sprite, confirm the materials. Now we're going to see that summoning mechanic in action as well. This is another case of you probably don't want to summon them in the extra monster zone because you're blocking yourself from them summoning link monsters into that zone.
Okay.
Gigantic. And here...
Special summon from deck.
Here goes the whole game plan. We go in. Yeah, so it's it displays for rank, but it also displays to you how many materials are still underneath the Gigantic Sprite with like the lefty thing there. That little circle. 2 materials, so we can get rid of one of them to special summon from the deck.
How did I do it? Sorry. I'm clicking on the right, is that wrong?
Wait, no, I'm confused as well. Wait. Click on the... Click on the Gigantic. There you go. And now it gives you the options. Perfect. Special summon Sprite Blue. Yup. I told you that's kind of the best one because it gets you all the other ones as well. So it's like you're trying to find a way to Sprite Blue, and Sprite Blue gets you the rest of the deck, essentially. And on your opening turn, if you would go first, you could consider to bring those cards out in defense position. But now, as you're looking at an open field, you just want to summon them all out in attack position, of course, to also then attack directly. Yes. And that brings us the Jet. We have level 2s and rank 2s on the field, so Sprite Jet is an easy guest on the field as well.
Okay. Following so far.
Yeah. Jet now. Okay, that also... oh, look, I mentioned Gamma Burst to you. That's an easy way to now close this out. Oh look, this deck even has 2 Gamma Burst. Why did they not give you 2 Gamma Burst?
I know. And that's the game. The game's over. It's crazy.
And the cool thing about Gamma Burst and quick play spell cards in general is, contrarian to normal spell cards, you can activate them in any phase. So you don't even need to preemptively activate it now. You can go into the battle phase and just go ahead and then activate that card there. Boom. They will be big. Yeah, so that's just like the easy trick of the Sprite deck to put 8,000 points of damage onto the field very, very, very easily. Boom. Satisfied with that?
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
And the only way really to stop that is to kill the first monster.
Well, if you would have gotten rid of the Sprite... If your opponent had a way to get rid of the Sprite Pixies, none of that could have happened, yeah.
Yeah, but like once you get rolling like that, if they don't kill the first monster, what kind of things can they do? Like, say before I get the spell that pumps the team up.
So
is there still stuff to be worried about at that stage, or like is it once you get clear the first special summon, it's kind of you're good to go?
There is still some effects that they can have. There is, for example, we saw the Infinite Impermanence, which can also sometimes be used from hand to negate one of your cards. There is a card we haven't talked about too much yet, but I think was in almost all of the 5 decks, which is the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, that basically just says when your opponent tries to special summon or to search, discard this card from your hand. That effect will be negated. It doesn't destroy anything, but it will negate the special summoning and the searching effect. So that's like a very common card in nowadays Yu-Gi-Oh, which is played in a lot of decks because it just gives you the option to, on the first turn already, interact with your opponent. And also...
Yeah, so if you're playing a Sprite deck and someone kind of interacts with you and stops your combo there, is it... At that point, is it like very likely you will lose because it's too hard to build up the combo again? Or is it like really all in? Or if they do interact with you, is there still a chance that you can win a bit of a longer game?
I think you still have a very good chance to win that because there's just so many sprites. Like, they stop you from searching with the Sprite Blue, which is a very valid thing to do. Like, for example, they use that Ash Blossom, Joyous Spring, or Infinite Impermanence on your Sprite Blue to make you not search. But guess what? Like, half of your deck is Sprite monsters, which you could already be holding in your hand, as you have 5 cards in your starting hand. So, oftentimes you don't even necessarily need the search, and you just add more to your end field in the end by getting all of those searches. So I think it's okay. Not an easy deck to stop with only 1 or 2 cards overall, I would say.
That one seems like it's the easiest one to play, or maybe the K9. What would you say is the easiest one to play?
It would be between those 2, I would say.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably between those 2. Let's just try to play another one here. Yeah, go with one of them. There you go. Yeah. That looks about right. Okay, we got some different cards from the deck, which we are all also playing in our version of the deck. So this one is interesting because you have basically 2 options to go here. And one is a lot stronger than the other. Because Sprite Carrot doesn't have an effect on its summon. It will only provide you a level 2 monster. And then you can technically summon out another Sprite Carrot to go into a Gigantic and go from there. But the way better starter would probably be the little beaver you're reading there right now. Because that just gives you...
beaver first and then the carrot.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the beauty about Master Duel as well, right? Like, you don't necessarily always have to remember all the different effects, because whenever you summon a card, it will give you the prompt, do you want to activate the effect? So it's like kind of user-friendly. Of course, the cards itself you will have to get behind, but overall I would say it's pretty nice in that regard. Okay, so now...
Then you go Sprite?
So, Sprite Carrot... Let's go let's go over that one real quick. This one actually, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card, can tribute another one of your level 2 or link 2 monsters and negate that. So by summoning this out early, you actually can stop your opponent's interaction. So we talked about Infinite Impermanence and Dominus Impulse, which are trap cards that they can use on your first turn. If you want to make sure they're not able to resolve those trap cards, you can establish the Sprite Carrot on the field before going for your Gigantic Sprite. You know, you can kind of make it safer to bring through. So I would say let's summon out the Sprite Carrot first.
Oh, okay. So you can bring that out and then do the special summon as well. Anyway.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
the
yeah.
Extra deck summon.
You basically can do it in any kind of order. Also, with that Sprite Carrot, I would have recommended to summon it in defense position, but that's fine. It's not that big of a deal, but it just has more defense points. It will probably be staying on your field for the remainder of the turn and until the end of the turn. So it would have been a little bit safer to just have it in defense position. So now, oh, they're only giving you 2 cards in the extra deck. There you go. Yep, Gigantic seems fine. The Beaver has done its duty, so we can use it. Nice. And now, the whole party again. Get rid of one of the materials. Summon a level 2. What could that be?
Let me make sure I get the right one.
Yeah.
No, not that one.
No. The one.
I don't think it's the red either.
The one with the cool blue jacket, maybe. Yeah, it is Sprite Blue for sure. Blue always is the one that just gives you flexibility. You can technically also go Jet first, but blue always gets you Jet, so it's like usually that order. And here, let's bring the Jet out. I think we can now look at another option that you can search with the Sprite Jet, because in the first duel, we searched out the Gamma Burst to just close out the game, but here there is no need to close out the game just yet, as it is the first turn. So it's probably rather Sprite Starter, which I told you, sometimes a problem for the deck is when you put the first monster off the field that they can't get past that. Sprite Starter is your way to play around that, though, as it just, as a quick play spell, special summons a Sprite monster from your deck, and they're all level 2s. So even if they get rid of your 1 monster and you have Sprite Starter in your hand, you just get another level 2 monster onto the field with that. Which is very, very strong.
So do you hold the starter in hand, or do you send it now?
So there is, like, you're always trying to end on both Sprite Carrot, which is your spell and trap negation for the opponent's turn, and you already have Sprite Carrot. And then there is Sprite Red, which is your monster negation. So as you don't have the Sprite Red yet, bringing out the Sprite Red seems pretty reasonable.
Okay.
And the red is, yeah. The red is red. Alright, you have to pay some life points for that, but that's really not that big of a deal. And then another key feature of the Sprite deck, which you're always trying to basically end on your field, is also still left in your extra deck. Let's go in there. Oh, there only is one more card in this deck, and it is actually the one I wanted to talk about. Yeah, Sprite Elf. So Sprite Elf is huge because it makes you summon back another level 2 monster from your graveyard. So you link away 2 monsters. It's a link 2 monster that needs to include a level, rank, or link 2 monster, which for this deck is fairly easy. And then you can bring basically one of the materials back. So you can, for example, use the Sprite Red here, and then just immediately bring it back because you still want to have it on your field in the end. And it has a really, really, really solid protection effect, because the zones it points to, and it points down left and down right. It is protecting those monsters from being targeted. So you're saving your field a little bit, and as if that wouldn't be enough, you can even on your opponent's turn use that effect to bring back another monster, special summon another monster from the graveyard once more.
So you want the Sprite Elf? Oh, I can't do it in this game, but you want it to point at the carrot and the Sprite Red.
You best case scenario, and let me see. You can still accomplish that actually. You can still make that happen.
Can I?
Yeah. Because as none of the extra monster zone is occupied right now, you can choose whether to summon it in the left one or in the right one. And I think the red you want to still have on the field there, and that is the one zone it will point to. So we could use the carrot and the blue, and then summon it in the top left zone, and then bring back the carrot in the middle zone, and then you are
oh right, okay, yeah, because
you get to choose.
You have to get rid. I didn't see you had to get rid of 2 monsters there to bring the elf out, so that gives you space for the carrot. I understand.
Yeah, there you go. And that makes you bring back the carrot, and that is a very, 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 very strong setup. Again, I think you would want to summon both carrot and red usually in defense position. It's not that big of a deal here right now, though. And then double cross, we haven't even touched on that yet. This is just such a powerful trap card, because this can just, one of your opponent's monsters, put it as a material of Gigantic Sprite, or put it into a zone Sprite Elf is pointing to. Like, there's multiple options to just snack away one of your opponent's monsters easily.
So would you set both of them or just one?
I'm pretty sure it's once per turn. Yeah, last sentence of the card is you can only activate one Sprite double cross
one per turn, okay.
So there's not much upside to setting both of them.
So the Sprite Carrot and the Sprite Red, are they going in defense mode just because it's higher stats, or is there any like other reason in that?
No, just purely that.
Okay.
Like, if it would be a turn where we are trying to attack, where we, for example, are also searching the Gamma Burst, summoning them attack would be reasonable. But here, as we are just setting up for our opponent's turn, it's usually just better. Okay, they start off with a very simple card. They want to send the card from the deck to the graveyard. We do have the option to negate spells and trap cards with Sprite Carrot, which we could just decide to do on that. Yeah. Use the Carrot. You have to tribute a monster for that. The Sprite Jet basically has done its job already, so I would probably get rid of the Sprite Jet. No, 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 that was the elf! Not the elf!
Oh, right, okay.
Not the elf. Oops. Yeah.
Can I go back to the attack and defense mode thing? So is that, I only would put the carrot and red in defense mode if I was going first? Like, if I was going second and able to attack, could you do it in attack?
Depends on what your opponent has on the field, but there definitely would be reasons to summon them attack, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but like if you're going first, there's pretty much always will do it defense?
Yeah. Pretty much. Because they also they have more defense points, right? If, like, for some other monsters, you want to have them in attack, but for these two in particular, you want to have them in defense, yes.
Okay, and now with this the Foolish Burial, obviously I've sacrificed the wrong monster. Which one was I supposed to sacrifice?
Just the Jet, because the Jet has already searched you for the Sprite starter and has done his job and now has no further effect on the field. And therefore, you don't need it on the field anymore. And now sacrificing the elf doesn't only lose you the protection for your monsters, but also you can summon back a monster on their turn as well. And this is usually where your follow-up comes from with this deck too, because you can on their turn then summon back either the Sprite Blue or the Sprite Jet, which you could have tributed here, to then search you more cards for the third turn of the duel, you know?
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Well, that's good. I understand the mistake.
Okay.
Is there a way to save this game now?
I'm pretty sure there is, for sure. No, absolutely. So It's on the one hand good, as I explained to you, that Master Duel will always give you the options to activate your cards and is asking you to activate the cards. It will now, for example, here in this situation, also give you the option to activate your double cross. That would mean, though, that you are trying to put one of your own monsters underneath the Gigantic Sprite, which is not necessarily something you want to do, so you just want to cancel that. Alrighty. So you get to enjoy the upside of Sprite Carrot here, because you tributed a Link monster. On accident, but still we did tribute a Link monster. You can destroy the card as well. Versus this card, it makes no difference. But there, for example, are cards like continuous spell cards, which would stay on the field, where it would make some difference to also destroy them and not only negate them. But here, it doesn't really matter. You can say yes, you can say no, it will go to the graveyard anyways. Ooh, Photon Trasher. Well, it's big, but it doesn't, like, for this very moment, I don't think it necessarily does anything. So you can chill, I think.
Sorry, I'm just reading this trap. I haven't really took in what it does.
Yeah, it makes you choose one of the three effects. So either, like, you target one monster on the field, mainly on the field, that's where you're going for, and then either put it into a zone one of your Link 2 monsters is pointing to. You currently don't have that option. You can, if you target a monster in the graveyard, summon something back also to a Link 2 monster. But the only applicable effect right now in that situation would be to put it as a material of a rank 2 that you're controlling. So that's the first of the three effects. Let's read over that again. But yeah, for now it's okay. Ooh, okay. Special summon, normal summon. I feel like they are trying to go into the extra deck in some way here, because both of these monsters don't do that much for the moment, so I think it's worth waiting to see what they are trying to do ultimately. Okay. Number 39 Utopia is a rank 4 Exceed monster using 2 level 4 monsters. And this is bigger than all of your monsters, which already is a problem. But it doesn't really proactively do anything. So as your double cross can be used in the battle phase, you can still just hold it until then, pretty much. Yeah, there we are. Okay. Now you probably wanna secure your monsters from that attack. Let's try that. Okay, so there would be the 3 options, but you can click on 2 and 3. The options that are currently not, like, you cannot resolve those effects as there is no Link 2 monsters. They will just be blurred out, essentially. So you can attach the targeted monster to a rank 2 monster you control. Choose your target wisely. This is the card that you are trying to put underneath your own monster. So the card you're trying to get rid of, essentially.
What? I'm not. I don't know why I'm not understanding this, but this interaction, I don't get what the trap card exactly is trying to do. So I want to put this under a monster that I'm willing to get rid of. So that would be the jet.
No. So I understand why it is one of the more complicated things. So the Exceed summon that we performed with Gigantic Sprite. Exceed monsters have materials. So from the game mechanic wise, Exceed monsters are the only monsters that can have materials. And the double cross is trying to give a material to an Exceed monster. So you can target one monster on the field.
On the sprite.
Yeah, you just you target the number 39 Utopia, their monster, and then you are going to put that underneath the Gigantic Sprite as an Exceed material. Yeah. Select your monster, and now it is a material. And that also means that the materials are going back up to 2 for the Gigantic Sprite, as you can also see it there now on the right. The Gigantic Sprite now is listed as one of the Exceed materials of the Gigantic Sprite now.
Okay. And when I use, like, their monster as a material, where does it go? It goes to their graveyard?
No, it's currently underneath Gigantic Sprite. It's one of the materials.
No, I know it's one of the materials right now, but when I use it as a material, it then goes to their graveyard, yes?
Yes. Yeah. You don't get to keep it for forever. No. It goes into the graveyard as soon as it would go into there. Yeah. That is true. That is absolutely the case. So yeah, you can summon
another
carrot.
carrot seems good. Yeah.
That does work, but you're kind of clocking up your zones a little bit if you summon that carrot. So maybe you just want to use the Gigantic Sprite first to just get access to another blue, and then blue just gives you overall more options. A funny thing also occurred here with the Gigantic Sprite, because Gigantic Sprite, when it has a Link or Exceed monster as material, you may have noticed it actually doubles its attack points. And as we put an Exceed monster from our opponent underneath it, it has now doubled. So in that instance, you probably want to make sure to not detach the Exceed monster, so the Gigantic Sprite stays stronger. So you go in, confirm, and just detach. Yeah, perfect. There you go.
And here we want a blue.
Blue just gives us more options. I would say blue is good. Blue immediately searches. Sweet. And I mean...
we get a jet.
So, jet cannot be summoned right now as we have a full field, and we haven't really gone over pixies yet. So pixies is kind of... Pixies only works if you battle opponent's monsters. So Pixie is basically a way to also manipulate your attack points, but that only works if you battle against another monster, so that doesn't apply right now. So Jet is good, yeah. You're not able to summon it right now, but maybe your opponent is going to destroy one of your monsters or something, and then the Jet can come in. Sweet. So you can set trap cards in main phase 1 or main phase 2. Usually you want to go battle phase first, but it's really not that big of a deal. Oh my! So this would be crazy. Let's read that trap card there real quick. Because maybe you remember Mirror Force from the anime. Like, Mirror Force is just when you attack, destroy all of your opponent's monsters. This is like a new version of Mirror Force, essentially. Just shuffling all of your monsters' attack position back into the deck. Which would be hilarious if you could not negate it with Sprite Carrot.
Okay. And I have to tribute the jet.
Probably,
or would you just tribute the blue?
I think you want to tribute blue because it has the lowest attack points right now, yeah. And you have already summoned it this turn.
Yeah, so the blue and the jet are both kind of... Yeah. Once they're in play, they've already done what they're doing. The carrot and the red are the kind of interactive ones.
Yeah, totally. 100%.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay, so is that still enough? Let's see. Let's do some math. Or let's have the game do the math for us. I think we're just short, right? Yeah, we're just short of 8,000.
Yeah, not enough. Got space to do the jet no.
Yeah.
No.
That's true.
Or would you want to just play another carrot for more protection?
No, because the jet can actually get us more protection as well. I think jet definitely is more valuable here. Jet only... Yeah. Oh. Good thing to learn, though. You normal summon jet in that instance. Because it gave you the option to special summon or to just summon. I mean, it didn't specify normal summon, but when it just says summon, it means the normal summon. And the surge effect...
only get the card if you special.
Yes, okay. yes, exactly. So we're missing out on that. I don't think we're going to lose the game because of that, though. Don't think that's too big of a deal. Ooh, Mist Valley Soldier. You know what? Let's just get this thing onto the Gigantic Sprite as well. Yep, perfect. Yeah, which one do you want? It's kind of like the symbols on the top signalize to you where those cards currently are. And also, as a little bit of a help, you're trying to get rid of the Mist Valley Soldier. When you just click on it on the field, it will immediately bring you to the Mist Valley Soldier in the pop-up menu as well. Yeah, that makes it easier. Nice.
Is there any limit to the amount of material that the gigantic sprite can have?
It can... No, not really. It can be as many as you could ever dream of. Battle phase. Nice. Solid. That was good.
Massive misplay, but
But I mean, it's good. We want to learn that. We want to have things to talk about to quickly learn. So after now having those 2 quick games with the deck, has your feeling about the deck changed in any way? What's your thinking?
it's kind of similar to what I thought it would be.
Okay.
It's like if you get the opportunity to go off, you should be able to win most of those games, I think. And then it's just knowing from the other decks like what their removal spells are, but how to play around them, that kind of thing. So it's about what I expected, I think.
Okay. And would you, like, just from the little experience that you got with it, would you rate it as one of the stronger options in the pool, or what would you be thinking?
I think which one is it? The Mimigo, the one that puts face down ones on my side. That sounds like that would be hard to beat, just because it clogs up my board as well as all the effects that it'll be doing. The deck that's heavy on traps, maybe tough to play against that too. But at least I have some negate effects that might actually be okay. Which one's that? Is that Labyrinth, the one that's heavy on traps?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. I don't know how it would fare against K9, because it seems like you're both trying to do similar-ish things. They're just doing it with 5 costs. We're doing it with 2. And then Blue Eyes, I suppose we should be good against Blue Eyes if they're kind of playing around the Blue Eyes, combining it into a kind of special Blue Eyes. I can put it inside my sprite. That seems like that should be okay.
That's actually a good thing to do with the Blue Eyes for sure. One note, you were talking about like space on the field and kind of your field being clogged up by monsters and so on. In that duel there, right there, we only had 2 cards in our extra deck. Like, usually you will be able to convert your monsters more efficiently into just extra deck monsters. So let's actually go back into the deck editor for a second and look at the extra deck of the sprite deck once more, because there is plenty of other options that you can also summon. Like, we want to have the red and the carrot in rotation, but as we saw with the sprite elf, we can also just bring them back on the opponent's turn. So there is other extra deck monsters that you kind of want to go for. So, for example, a really common one is that's a good one. You can just 2 level 2 dark monsters can be combined to the Djinn Buster, which is just a monster effect negation, which is really powerful. Then another cool one is
which ones do I have that are dark monsters?
The Sprite Blue and the Sprite Jet both are dark. So those are the main materials. And
those are the ones you want to sacrifice anyway.
Exactly, yeah. They are perfect exceed material for the Djinn Buster. Then a really cool one is the IP Masquerena, which is the last in the first row of the extra deck. Yeah, this one. This one is a generic Link 2 monster, so you just need to use 2 non-Link monsters as a material. And then this will be an interruption on your opponent's turn, because this makes you Link summon on their turn. Like, in their main phase, as a quick effect, you can say, hey, I want to now perform a Link summon. And with that Link summon, most of the time, you are going to bring out the SP Little Knight, which is the second to last card overall in the extra deck. And SP Little Knight says, when I'm Link summoned, which in that case would be on their turn, you can, when you use the Fusion, Synchro Exceed, or Link Monsters material, and you are going to use that IP Masquerena, which we just mentioned, then you can just banish 1 card in the graveyard, or more importantly, even on the field. So it's like another really good form of interaction with your opponent on their turn.
Okay. Yeah, and having all of these extra options, you're going to be able to make space for yourself, even against the Mimigo deck. Because the Mimigo ones does seem scary though for sprites.
So
because
the problem with Minigol is you lose out on your normal summon, because when they have the field spell, the Mimigo Dungeon, preventing you from normal summoning while you have a set monster, that is really annoying. But your Sprite starter can solve that problem pretty efficiently, because okay, you can just sort of ignore the set monster they gave you, you know? Like, you leave it set, Sprite Starter makes you summon out Sprite Blue from your deck, and then you get to search out another Sprite monster from your deck, and that kind of gets you going anyways, somewhat ignoring the set monsters that they gave you.
Okay. So what would you say is the hardest matchup for sprites out of the 5 decks we have?
The hardest matchup for Sprite...
Would it be Labyrinth?
Probably Labyrinth, yeah. I would think it would be Labyrinth. Most likely that. Chat, what are we thinking? I think it probably is Labyrinth, yeah. If I would have to say that.
K9. I like the Sprite deck. I like the Sprite deck. That's good.
No, Sprite for sure is cool. So, I mean, I will give you the option to either choose the deck that you want to play for this Continental Clash tournament now, or you can also say, hey, I want to maybe look at them a little bit more on my own and just decide later. But with that option, I'll have to tell you that, of course, tomorrow I have the stream with Boba, and so like either you tell me before or you let Boba choose first. So that's kind of your decision there.
Nah, I'll pick now.
Okay. What's the pick then? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Go ahead. Have a look again. And if you have, they're all on the top. Like the newest decks are all the Malice one is the one that is currently in ladder. Actually, let's click on the Mimigold. No wait, let's go to the out of this tab. Go my deck top left. Just leave this. Go Duel. Because we wanna get that Malice out of the display there. Just go for ranked. We're not going to play a ranked game just yet, but we just want to select the deck out of the decks that we are currently using so that it's actually displayed there. Go for the click on the little rabbit on the standard, and then there where it says Malice, yeah, click this way. New season just started. Where it says Malice, where you see the deck, which we cannot play anyways because it's not currently legal. We just change the deck to one of the decks that we have just built or copied. So then the Malice deck will not be displayed up top there anymore. Yeah, sweet. Sure. Okay, now we can go back to the deck section. And yeah, like if you have any further questions, if there's something that you're worried about or that you want to know, feel free.
Okay. Mimigo, I think, not going to be that one.
Okay.
Because that just seems... Although I actually think that might be the hardest one for us to play against. It also seems like the hardest one to play with no knowledge. So that I don't think it can be that one, even though I think if you were more experienced, that would be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
so I'm not sure about that. Labyrinth is kind of similar, I would say, and I am worried about just a lack of knowledge preventing me from playing this. But it does seem like the most cool one to play. So that is a front runner, different to the Mimigo for me in that the Mimigo seems like it's kind of a controlling deck, but it's more, you have to be more proactive, right? The Labyrinth one are more proactive in your interaction. The Labyrinth one, you just set a trap and then, you know, flip the one that makes sense in that spot. Mm-hmm. That seems a bit easier to do.
Okay. Yeah.
And then of the proactive decks like K9 and Sprite, I'm not sure. Sprite maybe seems like the easiest one to learn though. So that definitely has an advantage.
One thing I will also put into perspective. Of course, the other teams, they are on a similar level in terms of game experience to you and the other players from Team UK. So you said you could have the most problems with the Mimigo deck, but of course they're not going to execute the Mimigo deck to the fullest of potential either. So
Yeah.
you may not get completely overrun by Mimigul and its mechanics, because also, of course, they're still learning the deck, right? So possibly for this tournament environment that we are going to be playing in, and me telling you as your coach, maybe going with one of the easier options isn't necessarily a bad choice, because they do not necessarily lack strength. They are still like really, really strong, you know? But then getting behind it a little better
I get that.
Right? Yeah. But maybe you also make chat decide. Maybe they know better than you.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea.
What is chat?
I think they want to see Labyrinth.
There were quite a few of Labyrinth fans. Yeah, I saw that.
It's a bit bold to pick the control deck, though. But I see that. Do you trust me to do the Labyrinth?
I trust you, yeah. I think we can pull that off. It's just
okay, I'll go Labyrinth.
Oh, you go Labyrinth? Let's go. I like that. Labyrinth is definitely fun. And I mean, as long as we go, like, I will say the main advantage about Labyrinth is it uses the extra deck very rarely. It mainly only plays with the main deck cards. So you don't have that extra task of also mastering those 15 extra deck cards. There is some rare occasions which you are going to use your extra deck, but usually you will be fine just playing with your 40 main deck cards.
Okay. Yeah, lock me in Labyrinth.
Alrighty. Okay. We got CROKEYZ on Labyrinth then. I like that. Beautiful. That's sweet. So, yeah, I expect from you as a good student to non-stop play Labyrinth for the next couple of days then, right?
Non-stop for sure.
Great. That seems perfect. Yeah, well, do we want to sum up our first session here for that moment?
Yeah, no, that was good. It was very helpful. I'm still a bit, it's slightly overwhelming just because there's so much going on. But
very understandable.
Now that I know what deck I'm playing, it should be a bit easier.
No, for sure.
How many like decks? So if I was just kind of practicing games with Labyrinth, like obviously I would want to queue into people who are playing other decks I'll be playing against. Like how many games roughly would I get to play against the decks that I'll be facing? Like how many decks are in the meta kind of thing? Like would a lot of my games be against these 5?
Probably not, no. Like you
Probably
will
not.
beat them here and there, but they are not top meta contenders at the very
because that is the that is the one problem with the Labyrinth deck, right? Like I would need to practice specifically against those, but I guess all I have to do is read their cards and it should be fine.
That, and also, I mean, we have another stream where we are basically just going to mainly focus on playing against each other, right? So that is going to be very helpful as well, as we are just then going to have the matchups and going to play with those decks. And I think that is where a lot of your experience in the matchups that are required is going to come from. I think.
Yeah, I would be more confident with like maybe the sprites or the K9, but this is the coolest deck, so we'll send it.
Send it. I love that. But yeah, I think reading all of it is going to be very helpful already. Another, like, maybe one thing to already take away here, they're like, some people call them the furniture pieces, as they are furniture pieces. You have the Stovey Torby open right now, which is the stove, and then there also is the Chandelier, which is the last card in the first row, and they basically they essentially do the same as they discard themselves from the hand and then discard another card to the graveyard. So you're investing 2 cards to set 1 Labyrinth trap card from your deck. So they are always giving you access to your important trap cards, which are Big Welcome Labyrinth and Welcome Labyrinth. And they will then special summon out your Labyrinth monsters, and they are basically all you want. So you want to make sure that the little furniture pieces are going to be used efficiently, because then they are also going to come back and generate more resources and so on and so forth. So there is plenty of cool tricks to do with that, which I'm very, very confident we will be able to execute. That will be very, very possible.
Yeah, I'm good to go. I'm happy with that.
Sweet. All right, then I think our next stream is on Sunday together. Yeah, should be on
Sunday, yes.
Perfect. All right, then. See you around for that.
Yeah, thanks very much for your help. Appreciate it.
Of course. Bye-bye, chat. See you around.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty. That still leaves me with all of you, of course. I hope that you all enjoyed this, because that was very fun, because usually, of course, here on this channel, you often see me in the very latest, not super often, but you see me go in, play on the ladder, play meta decks, play on a high level, play in Challenger Cup competitions, cast Challenger Cup competitions, but having a beginner, which doesn't have much history with the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, teach them the game from a very, very, very low level, that's very fun. Because it changes your perspective on the game a little bit too, you know? Like, it makes me, like, rethink a couple of things. Oh yeah, beginning players might see it in that way, and that is very, very fun. So, I hope all of you enjoyed that. Good. Notice we are going to be back tomorrow again. Thanks for all the follows. Thanks for the subs during this stream as well. Really, really, really appreciate that. And then we are going to be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Yeah, 2 p.m. Central European Standard Time, with essentially the exact same stream than today, but with our second student, Boba, from Team UK. So this was the first stream for Team UK from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel Continental Clash. More teaching sessions and learning streams are coming in the next couple of days, and then next Thursday, there is going to be the final tournament where the 5 nations are going to be playing against each other in their teams against the others. Alrighty. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. See you tomorrow for another learning stream with Boba. Until then, thanks for watching today. Bye. Bye.